Hey everybody, this is Mad Matt Carter. Thank you so much for watching the AIWF Network YouTube channel as well as the AIWF Ringside Wrestling channel. If you like what you see, please do us a big favor. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell to get notifications every time we post new videos on both our channels. It means a lot to us, and thanks a lot for watching once again.
How's it going, everybody? This is Pro Wrestling Wire Radio here on ProWrestlingWire.com, WON Sports, and the I'm Rick Del Santo, and of course, joining me as always the man, and Nassim Otis. Uncle Otis, what's happening?
How's it going, everybody? How's everything? Good?
Everything is fantastic. Had quite the eventful day, my wife dragged me to church today. So, and 3-hour church. What do you say? I scrambled to get home so that we can do this show.
Oh, not for nothing. I mean, praise the Lord, and those that want to spend all day in church, that's fine. But it's just not for me. Not.
Yeah.
I fall asleep way too easy at my age.
Yeah. Well, my wife kept having to nudge me to wake up. And if it wasn't now, you're also from the New Haven area of Connecticut, aren't you?
Well, I was raised in Milford, for the New Haven County.
New Haven area of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yes, New Haven area of Connecticut. You're about 20 minutes up. However, you're familiar with Fox and Park soda, of course. That's kind of a legendary soda. Available in actually, hold on, let me rephrase it. Every place in Connecticut.
Yeah,
yes.
Gus Sosa all the way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more of a white birch guy, but I do experiment with some, sometimes they're white birch. However, Thimble Island, the brewing from the area, I think it's Connecticut. They collaborated with Fox and Park, and they made a couple hard sodas. Of course, you're going to see it blurred. I got their cream soda, which is very delicious. Their hard white birch is also delicious, and I think they make another one, but I think I haven't seen it. I don't remember, but I think there's just like 2 or 3 flavors. It's exactly just like the regular soda, just hard. It's very good.
Can you taste the difference? Like, can you taste the alcohol in it, even though it's probably only a few percent?
Kind of, yeah. It's actually not quite a bit, but it's actually about the average of beer. What's an average? But it's 4.5, so that's about average, right? For a regular beer, for a crappy beer, right?
A beer is like 5%. Yeah.
Yeah, me and you drink stuff that's a little bit stronger than that generally.
Well, if I can, I don't indulge often, but when I do, I like a little old school blackberry brandy, a little Leroy.
Boy, yeah. I think you found out that I like that stuff. You might have found out the hard way, but with a canister of mayonnaise landing on my leg. But anyways, we're not here to talk about drunken stupors and
sure we are
ridiculous events. Yeah, why not? About professional wrestling. And I know it's been, this is the slow time of the year for me this month. July is coming up, but June, it's not necessarily busy. But you got to, I wouldn't say take part in the show, but you covered a show for Pro Wrestling Wire. Last night, you were at the Tetsu show. You got to interview the undeniable Ryan Frost before the show, which is up now on our YouTube and our website. The new edition of The Potato with Ryan Frost. I urge everybody to go check it out on the website. So, how was that show last night?
Awesome. Well, first of all, those folks that haven't attended a Tetsu show, it's a six-sided ring. So the
Yes.
excitement starts the second you sit down and you say, "Oh, it's got a six-sided ring." So uh, the show last night. Now, normally they would do their show in Bristol at the Boys and Girls Club, and the Boys and Girls Club they would have it in the gymnasium, which is a
Hmm.
beautiful, beautiful big gymnasium, well lit and so forth. Um, and they've always put on a great show there. However, they've changed it
Right.
up to a venue that was in Windsor last night. And I really don't know if the building itself has a name, um, but it was kind of like the kind of place you would go to with the family after a wedding or something like that for the reception. It
So like a
you know
dining hall or something like that.
um it could be a dining hall, but it's kind of set up almost like a club type atmosphere with a two-floor section. The first
Okay.
floor being where all facilities or whatever would be, and then you there's a huge staircase that comes right up the middle when you walk in the front door that goes up to kind of like a second floor, but with a big opening in the center so that you can view what's happening on the first floor. And the way Tetsu had it set up is they set the ring up directly below that opening
Okay.
and put seating all around it. And from the far end, from the front entrance, is where the talent came through the curtain. So they did a very good job of setting that up. And I had the pleasure, the gentleman that runs Tetsu let me go to the second floor and spend my evening up there. And this way, it was different for me. I took quite a few shots. I'd say probably close to 300, 350 pictures. Of
Wow.
course, I don't use them all, because I'm constantly pop, 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 taking shots. And then I got to go through them, see what's worthy of cropping and uh, editing and, doing filtering and that sort of thing because I try to bring the best action shots that I can. But the only thing that I didn't so much like for myself to take shots from the second floor was that from ground level, when you're looking at the action, when you see a guy come off the top rope, let's say, to do a frog splash
Hmm.
or something of that nature, you can see the height that this man is, or woman is getting. And when you're on the second floor, they're kind of jumping up towards you. So you really don't see, like when I take a picture, I don't really see the height that's involved in coming off that top turnbuckle. I just see the person, the he or she gentleman, the person that's coming off the rope looks a little closer to me than the person laying on the mat, let's say. But otherwise, um, from a fan's standpoint, I would say it was a great, great venue because it was more intimate. They set seating up virtually all the way around it. There was a few tables, like small, intimate two-person tables that you could pull a chair up to. There was several of those. The restrooms were right off the front entrance, which couldn't have been but 30 feet away from the ring, really. And they had a snack bar set up where you could get soft drinks and chips and that sort of thing. So they did a very good job of making it fan friendly, for lack of a better term. And I really enjoyed myself.
Nice. 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 I have yet to get out there. I was laid up on my couch a little bit, just relaxing. You know, my son is visiting here from Ohio, so we're spending a lot of time together. So I did not get to go, but I understand that there's a new Tattoo Pro World Heavyweight Champion in Patrick Saint. Congratulations to Patrick Saint. I'm gonna have to watch that video when it comes out. He's one of the, I'd have to say, in the Northeast, he's one of the he's a very good competitor, top up and coming guy, I guess you could say. And the fact that he won a good title here, a title here, very well, sir, for being defend upon my return to Tattoo Pro whenever I.
Yeah, the Don Dada did quite a great job last night against Troy Stevens, the air guitar wizard. Troy did the best he could at taking on Patrick, who probably has several pounds and a couple inches over him. So Troy definitely he gave it his all.
He's like 3 of Troy Stevens, maybe 4. And then,
the Don Dada is a big dude. Big dude. I certainly would not want to be on the other end of an alley walking up towards him late at night, because he's not that he's a heavy dude. He's just a big guy. He's, over 6 foot. He's, I couldn't tell you how much he weighs, and I'm not going to try and guess, because if I'm wrong, I might end up getting my mouth washed out with fist. But but yeah, he's a big dude, and he laid into Troy last night. Troy really tried hard to keep up. It was kind of like watching the lion and the gazelle kind of thing, like someone who's a little quicker on their feet and someone who's got a little bit more pounds behind them and height, maybe, and so it was not a cat and mouse kind of thing, because Troy was not running at all from him. He was coming at him, right in his grill. But Troy tried several times to use some aerial tactics on him. But I think that Mr. Saint, he's got the beef behind him and the muscles, to where when Troy would be coming off the ropes or over the ropes into the stands area, Patrick was able to catch him or, stop his advances. And so it was fun to watch. It really was. It was one of those matches where, you can't even pick who you want to win, so to speak, because their styles are so different that you can't say, it was like watching 2 Troys or 2 Patrick Saints. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was a good match, and kudos to Troy for taking it to the limit. And I'm sorry for Troy. He was an absolute great champion, a fighting champion, but last night just wasn't his night.
Let's see. Do you have the results handy or no? Did you write down the results for the show?
I don't have times, because I was, popping pictures and did the podcast, and I tried to do some promo shots as well. But
right. So I have the match. I do have the matches in front of me. You can give me the results.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I could tell you who took them.
In your opinion on the match. So let's see. It was Tiffany Avatar taking on Skylar.
Yeah, those two. They're fun. They were fun to watch. I think in the beginning. Now, this was the first time I've ever seen Tiffany wrestle as well. Now, I've seen Skylar wrestle several times, and she's one of my favorites. She's I think that she's a little bit more in your face wrestling than Tiffany was. I think Tiffany. Now, this is just my opinion, and I might catch some crap about it later, but it almost, to me, for a while was like Tiffany was afraid to start the match. I mean, it was like it was just dragging on, and she was trying to get, hey, I'm the princess here, and I want to be treated as such, and God bless her, but Skylar was like patiently waiting to get this match going, and when it finally, got moving, it was a good match, and they used all six sides really well. This is actually the second time that I've seen Skylar in a Tetsu ring, and she used all six sides quite well. She ended up winning the match. Skylar did. The match, I can't tell you how long it went, but it felt like about anywhere between 7 and 10 minutes, maybe. I don't know. Time is very different when you're watching wrestling. It could feel like a half an hour in a match, and it was only 8 minutes long. But it was a good match.
All right, so I'm guessing that the opening match was the four-way, right? TUS Young
Yeah.
Boy. They usually do those in the opening contest. It's kind of like the I wouldn't say a tryout, but like let's entertain the fans. Let's get the fans riled up, and let's see who's moving on. Basically, let's see who impresses the Tetsu fans. Let's see who impresses the Tetsu, I guess, management, right?
Yeah, actually, I was very excited about that match when I saw it because this was my first time to ever see Bobby Ocean in action. So
Legend in the area, really. So
yeah, that's what I've heard, and folks out there that might be tuning in for this first time, they're going to find out that I'm very green in the business, and so there's a lot of talent out there that I've actually have not yet had the pleasure of meeting. And last night I met Bobby Ocean before the match, and we introduced ourselves to each other, and I didn't really know who he was when I saw him before we got to say hi, but once I found out that was him, I was like, all of a sudden I became a mark. I was like, wow, I get to see Bobby in action. I've yet to see Bobby in action, and I've heard so much about him. And he did not disappoint. Last night, it was the four-way dance or four corners match, if you will. There was a Bobby Ocean, of course, and then there was my good buddy, Anytime Alan Bano, who I just love Alan.
friend of the show.
Excuse me?
Yeah, friend of the show. Yep.
Yeah.
Friend of the
He's-
show, Alan Bano. Yep.
He's great. He's great. And Damian Black, who I did get to see wrestle once before for Tetsu when we were at the Boys and Girls Club, and I was
Right.
I was pretty impressed with him as well. I mean, he was really. I had never seen him until that last time I saw him, and I believe
Right.
that was in a four-way as well. You had commentated at that
Yes.
match. And,
Yeah, I think it was him, Mooch, and
Pretty
Jay
Poppy.
Vara. I believe was it Jay Vara?
I
Was it-
thought
no,
Pretty
he was-
Poppy
that
was,
was-
in.
I
Oh no,
wasn't-
Sergeant.
I know, no, nope. Sergeant Fury was in a singles match against Pretty Poppy. It was Damian Black, Mooch. I think it was Jorge Sante actually made his debut there. And there was one other. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the tape. It's up on
Yeah.
YouTube. I just can't. I can't think. I know Poppy wrestled Sergeant Fury in that last show because the two of them were in the Fatal Four Way the previous show before that.
Right. And TOS Youngboy, who is this kid is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's very young. Literally, that's not just a name. He's
Yeah.
a very young guy.
And the thing that's amazing to me is he's not a big guy, but this kid is amazing, and he really can hold his own in the ring again. And I mean, Bobby Ocean is no slouch. He's not a small guy. He's a good sized guy. Alan Bano, good sized guy. Damian Black, an average, but a decent sized guy. And Young Boy was, well, quite frankly, he looked like he was a young boy, like like he was, like he shouldn't have been in there with these big guys. And it did not matter. The kid is really, really good, and I am very excited to be seeing him in his beginning stages because where he's going to go in the future is it's going to be phenomenal, and I think a lot of people are going to really want to start following this kid's career. And I'm sorry if I call him a kid, but I'm 62, so everybody's like, "You're a kid to me, Rick."
I mean, he is. He's he's at the beginning stages of his career. I think it's less than a year. I could be wrong. No, I think it is less than a year because I think he's only literally wrestled at Test of Strength, where the name TOS Youngboy comes in. So I've actually had the opportunity to see him at the, was it the Lit show that we went to in Manchester that one time, right? And it was, oh man, I can't remember who we teamed up with. I'm sorry, guys. This is, I watch so much wrestling, my brain gets confused sometimes. I got to watch it on multiple occasions. I know there's definitely pictures on the PWW Instagram that Mr. Uncle Otis took from that event. It's on either his show or our joint account. So, but yeah, phenomenal young guy. And I can only imagine that he's just going to get better as time goes on. And I feel like he's really going to make his mark in the world of professional wrestling in the future.
Absolutely. And yeah, like you said, you folks, you can go on my Facebook page, and I literally use the Facebook page as an information page to find upcoming events, and I use it kind of like a scrapbook. I go to these events with Rick, and either he's commentating or doing something of that nature, helping out on the commentating, and I'm usually there popping as many pictures as I can, trying to get a potato if I can. But my Facebook page, my Instagram, those are basically scrapbooks. So you could find matches by just get on my page, scroll, and you'll eventually, if you know the date that you're looking for, or the month at least, I'm sure you'll find it. Providing I was able to attend. But
which is very likely. We've attended a lot of shows in the last since the beginning of the year, right? I'd have to say for the last at least 4 or 5 months, we've been, especially together, we've been hitting up sometimes 2 shows a day, sometimes depending on the occasion. Every weekend, I find it kind of amazing that I had absolutely no shows this weekend and next weekend. Tell me that's not wild. For the first time in months.
Well, actually, yesterday I really wasn't going to attend either, but I was really desperate. As you know, for some time I've been wanting to do a potato interview with Ryan Frost, who is just like, he's such a good guy. I love the man to death. He's just fantastic people. And I've been wanting to do some sort of an interview with him. And it was very difficult to hook up with him because I live on the shoreline and he lives much further in state. And he has, difficult working hours, and it just didn't fly for us to get together. And he said to me, "Hey, are you going to the Tetsu show?" And I was like, "Well, I hadn't planned on it. I don't have other plans. I just hadn't planned on, making it out there because I was just going to take a little hiatus, like you, and spend a weekend around the house, whatever." And he said, "Well, I don't really know any other way to hook up, and I really wanted to do this." So I said, "You know what? I'll come up and I'll do the interview." And he said, "Okay, well, you make sure you stay for the show." And so I did. But what was really good about this is that last week, Red Devil Mooch there, some of our followers might have seen that I was able to do a quick interview with him last week. And when I had text Frosty, I said, "Look, Mooch had some things to say, and I would like to give you the opportunity to, respond." And he sent me back a text, one word with an exclamation point: "Absolutely." So we hooked up and we did that. And that is now on our YouTube channel. It's on the Facebook page. It's, on our social media platforms. So we've got that. But anyway, back to the four corners match. Bobby Ocean, by the way, took that one. And with this intimate, like you said, the four-way matches are really good for getting the audiences hyped up and pumped up for what's to come. And they delivered. They were all over the venue, two over here, two over there. And they were really, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. And those are four fun guys to watch.
The Mission took on Unleashed. It's Dan the Man and Stan Michael. What'd you think of this one?
That was also a good match, but I like Stan Michael and Dan the Man. I've seen them wrestle a couple of times, and I've never seen Unleashed before. So last night was really cool for me because I saw several talents I've never seen wrestle before. So it was a lot of fun to see some new action that I wasn't used to seeing, and it was a very good tag match. Stan Michael is he's not a big guy, but he flies around the ring and he's got some moves. And it wasn't a very long match, but in the end, the Mission did take it. And I guess I was kind of like almost wanting them to win only because I've seen them wrestle before. So it was kind of like going in, seeing some old friends, so to speak, but I enjoyed it.
Unleashed, Lucas Chase took on Ryan Frost, our good friend we just spoke about. And he's a very good friend of the show as well. Very supportive of our website and our show. So shout out to Mr. Ryan Frost. How was this? This match had to be great. I mean, it's Lucas Chase and Ryan Frost.
Yeah, I actually I love watching Lucas Chase, and like I said before, I love Frosty. So this was one of those matches where, and these two guys, they are very well pitted against each other as far as size, weight, skills. They both took each other, they took each other to the mat and back, and they were all over the venue. And that, you know what? Just about every match was all over the venue. It was a lot of fun. I personally have a just a little grudge about the ending of the match, but and I had pointed it out to Frosty, and he just kind of sent me an LOL and left it at that. Because of me being on the second floor looking down when he was pinned by Mr. Chase. I could swear that half of his foot was still under the rope. And I said, geez, I don't know about that. I kind of noticed your foot was a little under the rope. And he just laughed like, I don't know. You may be wrong. My view was a little, askewed, but it was still my point of view. And I had sent him a picture that I had taken of that point of view. And he just, like I said, he just kind of gladly laughed at it. And, it is what it is. But that match was, oof. I get chills thinking about it. It was a tough match. It really was a tough. You would have enjoyed that one. You would have enjoyed that.
I'll have to wait for the tapes to make it to their YouTube channel. So, and of course, there was Pretty Poppy and Sammy Diaz, top 5 dead or alive. That's not just a nickname. This guy is a phenomenal professional wrestler, and as is Pretty Poppy. Pretty Poppy is, of course, in his career as well. A little bit longer than the TOS Young Boy, of course, but this guy is he's been in there for what he's from what I understand, he trained under at the Nightmare Factory, Cody Rhodes Nightmare Factory.
Really?
The QT Marshall and stuff like that. Yep. Well, and that is a confirmed piece of information. Actually, I have people down there at the Nightmare Factory, so I do my homework and make sure that things are correct. So we'll just say that
would explain it to me, why he's as good as he is, because
Yeah.
Pretty Poppy, like you said, he doesn't have a lot of time under his belt,
Yeah.
but
He's very good.
this cat is good. Yeah, he really is. And you know what? He has the charisma that every wrestler should have. He really does. As soon as he comes through the rope, through the curtain, the crowd just knows that they're going to be entertained because he's just got the charisma, and he had himself a nice, beautiful rose for one of the ladies in the audience, and he really he took Sammy for a run for his money. And Sammy is one of the most outstanding players in the game that I've ever seen. I mean, granted, in the Indies, I don't even have a full year in yet. And to see Sammy wrestle is a treat beyond treats. And I think that anybody that gets the opportunity to go to a show to see Sammy, they definitely should do that because they would be blown away by this guy's talent. And Pretty
Absolutely.
Poppy, he gave Sammy a run for his money, and they entertained too. Sammy was the lighter side of Sammy last night, so he was in a good mood when he got in the ring, and it showed because when Sammy shines, the whole audience kind of shines with him, and it was a real fun match to watch. And of course, Sammy took that. Well, I shouldn't say of course because Poppy can hold his own, but Sammy did win that match last night, and it was well fought. It was a good match.
Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a comic book shop and gaming store that also features Magic the Gathering and D&D. Located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia, Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. They buy, sell, trade, barter, and haggle, specializing in collectible toys, both vintage and modern, comics, Magic the Gathering, video games, console, and arcade cabinets to play, all set to free play. Host your game night with us, Monday night D&D video game competitions, and so much more. Something for the collector and gamer in us all. Call 434-317-0121 or shoot us an email with any questions to secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Note, secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. That's 2ND, handheroesva@gmail.com. Come game with us.
Saturday, July 13th, Armada Brewery, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling presents Bash at the Brewery. Now, this is just a couple weeks away. We've got some exciting action taking place at that. I have yet to go down there. I plan on going down there for this one at the Armada. I understand that you've been down there for the events down there not so long ago, correct? You got some photos over there that you posted?
Yeah, and I took quite a few promo shots at Bash at the Brewery the last time we were there. And like I said, you can catch all those shots. I brought this background with me, which the talent, for some reason, this is probably my least favorite, but the talent loves this background for him. So I brought that down. I got many shots, some of the newer talent, like Kaizo and Killa J and so on. And then I got some great shots of the CPW Strong Will champion who was there that night, Louis Leon, the premier Louis Leon. But on the 13th, it's going to be a good one because I believe, Frosty is going to be there against Mooch, as we talked about.
I have the match listing right here in front of me.
Oh, okay. This will be good then.
All right. So we'll start with that. Obviously, you said Frosty is the United States champion. He'll be defending the belt against Chris Mooch, excuse me. If I may make a special announcement, let's hold off about this match, okay? Mooch is now part of the PWW team, okay? So he will be helping with production. He'll be doing a podcast at some time as well in the future. And something else. He's done some of the production. So I'm looking forward to working with Chris. Mooch, if you will. It's we've been going back and forth for days. Actually, all week, I think, wouldn't you say? Probably.
Yeah. And
So yeah.
he's very talented, by the way. He really is. And I've actually turned to him for some pointers as far as trying to do a little production stuff. So maybe some of it, if I'm lucky, will rub off on me.
I don't know, but I can't get you to copy and paste. Come on now.
What can I say? I'm a typical old guy. I can't figure stuff out. It scares me, but I'm working on it.
Do you know how to wipe your backside?
I can with one arm, the other one no.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's get the show on the road. Let's see. We've still got about 20 some odd minutes left, but we want to make sure we get a lot of this stuff in, at least this stuff into the show. We've got the Paradise Alley Women's Championship match. The champion is Daje Simone. It's going to be a triple threat. Daje, of course, coming off that little shoulder injury that she had. She was out for a few weeks, but she'll be defending against Skylar and Killa J. I have not seen Killa J in action. Of course, we know her. I've seen her at several events and training at Paradise Alley. I have yet to see her actually wrestle. Tell me about her. I think you've got the opportunity to see her at the last bash at the brewery, correct?
Yeah. Well, like you said, she's new to the game, and to go into the ring with someone like Skylar and Daje. The years are on her, we'll say, I mean, as far as, being outnumbered in years by her opponents. And she's very anxious to take on new talent or not new talent, but to take on other talent. And I think that she's got a lot of ambition. She's got a lot of drive, and I think that she'll do fine. But she's going to probably take some lumps for a while because that's, just like anything. When you're learning, you're learning.
Yeah. Let me just show you. I want to show off the fans at home and anybody that's watching via video. Of course, our Apple and Spotify subscribers will not. And I know my friend Uncle Otis here will like this. Look at this. This is if you can see it in the video, it is a Daje Simone guitar pick. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, she gave that to me up in Springfield about a year ago, maybe. And I know she's got buttons too. And I was very excited. I said, "Oh, I want one of these." It sits here on my table where we record each and every week.
That's a very different item for merch for a wrestler too.
Oh, she's a musician, so she uses she works that into her character on occasion. You know what I mean? She actually her entrance music is actually her music.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's impressive. That's very impressive.
So let's move on with the show because I don't want to get cut off here. Of course, our friend Sunset Steve Garcia meeting the somewhat new and threatening and disastrous Mr. Z. I'm kind of afraid of that guy. I gotten to see him work Alan Compass at the what's that show? At the goddamn King of Paradise. King of Paradise, excuse me. And that was a few months ago, and he demolished Alan quite a bit, if you will.
Yeah, I missed that one. I didn't get to see that. I wasn't at that event. However, at the last Paradise Alley pro wrestling event, the last one at the brewery, which is at 190 River Street in New Haven, for anybody that wants to attend on July 13th. The thing about Mr. Z is he's very reminiscent of an aggressive Undertaker, for lack of a better description. He's a big dude. He's a scary dude. And the reason why I say aggressive is because back in the day when the Undertaker was pretty much first on the scene, he wasn't very boisterous at all. As a matter of fact, anything you heard from his corner pretty much just came from Paul Bearer. But Mr. Z, he's boisterous, and he gave people in the audience a little. He would give, if somebody gave him any crap, he'd give it a little bit of crap back, and as far as yelling back at them and stuff. But he's pretty good in the ring, and I've been watching him also at the training center. And this guy is hungry. He's hungry for wins, and if he continues on the path that he's going to get them. And I see future champion in him for a big guy. I do.
Okay, the AIWF International Champion Bloodsaw taking on Jeremy Lacroix. Let's see, this one, Jeremy's been tearing it up and getting everybody in a bad mood, talking trash to everybody out there in the audience and management. And now he's got, somehow he is getting an AIWF International Championship title match. So I have no idea how PAPW is working that.
Well, it's got to be the squeaky wheel gets the grease, maybe. If he's been, harping about trying to get some sort of a title match, especially against somebody like Bloodsaw, why anybody would want to go against Bloodsaw, I guess, would be, you got to be a little on the nuts side, because Bloodsaw's, he's been holding on to that international title for a little while, and rightfully so. Bloodsaw is no slouch. He's fun to watch. He's quick. He's got a lot of moves in his pocket, and he's just a good all around wrestler. And maybe that's what happened. Is Lacroix is saying, some guys, I guess what they want to do is they want to start if they get the opportunity and they don't have to wait in line. They're going to take that big chance if they get that opportunity. And the squeaky wheel got the grease in this one, apparently.
Let's see, Sylvan taking on New England legend Bulldred.
I don't even want to talk about this one, because I love Bull to death. I love him. He's like a brother from another mother. He is. And Sylvan, another brother from another mother. Both of them friends of the show, of us. And I would have to say, well, you know what? If anybody deserves a match with Bull, I think Sylvan should get that. Because Sylvan, I've been watching since I've been a player in the game, as far as, on the sidelines and doing my thing. He gets better and better every time I see him. And I'll tell you what, I've been going to the training center, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling Training Center on Co Avenue in East Haven often. And I see Sylvan often. And this guy works hard. He wants to get better. He wants those opportunities. And for him to go up against somebody like Bull, who has, 23 years under his belt, I can't really say that you're going to see a much better match. I think that this is going to be a barn burner.
I've saw Sylvan against Ryan Frost, which I thought was a huge. It was like a slugfest. Frosty was throwing him around like the overhead, sack of shit slam, they call it. Where it was just, he was throwing him like a sack of potatoes. Sylvan fought hard against Frosty. Now I think was that in the AIWF battle? No, that wasn't.
The last time I saw
contest. I think I'm wrong.
No, you might be. The last time, well, I don't know.
I'm going
last
back.
Time I saw Sylvan and Frosty in the same ring was that was the 4-way when they had Fly Nye and the young gentleman.
Okay, so I am Casanova.
Yes.
Chad.
Chad Casanova.
Yep. It was the AIWF
Yeah, that was for the AIWF International Belt.
And Frosty, another competitor. Yeah, I'd like to see those two at it again, but I can't wait to see this match. Excuse me, Dread and Sylvan, they're just going to slug it out. And I think that, Dread's a great competitor, man. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So our good buddy, as we were talking earlier, friend of the show, Anytime Alan Bano on Kaizu. Kaizu, I do know this gentleman personally. I have not seen him wrestle before. He always coming around the Coliseum, hanging out, helping with ring crew. I've seen him, I've seen him training at Paradise Alley. So I have yet to see him in a one-on-one matchup, actually. So, and he's getting to meet our buddy Bano.
Yeah. Kaizu doesn't really have any time under his belt as yet. I've gotten to see him at last month or 2 months ago, or was it last month? It was 2 months ago in May at the last battle at the brewery number 6, I believe it was. This is number 7 coming up. Mm-hmm. And he took on Alan Compass, the Crocodile King. And he did rather well. I mean, Alan's kind of a tricky character in the ring, and he's got a lot of different moves. And I just think that, Kaizu probably wasn't really prepared for that. But I don't know. I really don't think it's a smart move on Kaizu's part to take on Alan Bano just yet. Because Alan can teach him a few things,
Absolutely. So it's most interesting matchup. Let's see the Paradise Alley Tag Team Champions, Troy Stevens and Jermaine Marbury, the team of R&B, taking on Pedro Donis and Zambrano. Donis, I don't think, has been at Paradise Alley in quite a couple of years. He's, of course, making his mark. He's been on Wrestling Open as of late, Beyond Wrestling and stuff like that out there in Massachusetts, for IWTV and stuff. So good for him. And now I haven't seen it. Now I was actually going back and watching older tapes of Paradise Alley not so long ago. And he was part of the, I believe it was Under the Radar or something like that. It was the one pay-per-view I think that they had, if I remember correctly. So, the one pay-per-view, I'm sorry, during the pandemic. I'm sorry, they've done stuff for Fight. Let me correct myself. I don't want to sound too much like an idiot. I know I do that all by myself, but so I'm happy to see him coming back to I'm happy to see him coming back to Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. And this should be an interesting matchup because I don't think that, I don't know if R&B really know what they're in store for.
I couldn't tell you because I'm not familiar. I know R&B, because I've been watching Troy since the beginning of me getting involved, and Jermaine as well. Actually, they both frequent several of the places that we go to for events. So, and as far as being a tag team, they've been they're doing fantastic. They've been holding those belts for a while that they took from the Pyramids of Power a while back. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. So if maybe it's like a more experienced tag team against a little less experienced tag team. Because Troy and Jermaine on their own, they tear up the scene. Together, they've been doing rather well, but they don't have that much experience as a tag team with each other, as far as I know.
Yeah, outside of just, I think it was the first time they teamed up, they won the titles, if I'm not correct. If I might be wrong. They might have teamed up one time before that. I could be wrong. So they are not that experienced as a tag team, but they did something right to win those titles, you know what I mean? So that's about it. We've got about 7-8 minutes left. So anything that you want to talk about before that?
Well,
run by.
Did we talk at all about, now back to the Tetsu thing? Did we talk at all about? We did congratulate Patrick Saint, correct?
Yes.
And okay, so I just wanted to make sure about that. Now, I wanted to say that at the end of the match, when Patrick was, well, exhausted for one thing, Lucas Chase came back out and he jumped into the ring and he got right in Patrick's face. Now, I was out of earshot, so I couldn't hear what they were talking to each other about. They did shake hands. Lucas had pointed at the belt a couple of times while he was talking to him. So, I mean, I'm assuming that we're looking at something new on the horizon with these two. And I believe Lucas wants to take that belt from him. However, what ended up happening was after they shook hands, the Don Dada turned away from Lucas to, kind of address the crowd. He had his belt and Lewis jumped him. Lucas jumped him and attempted to do a beatdown. And literally, during the two of them scuffling in the ring, every ref, every other wrestler in the back, staff, whatever, all rushed the ring to pull these two apart. And it was a madhouse. It was a madhouse. There had to be 25 people in that ring trying to calm things down. And I just thought that maybe that would be something worth touching on, so that people that are watching this now will keep in mind that there's something on the horizon with these two. Well, we've got Patrick Saint, who was hungry to get this belt. He's got this belt now, and I don't think he's going to want to let go of it very soon. And Lucas Chase, this man will run roughshod over anybody that gets in his way. And if he wants something, he's going to come after it. And I got a feeling that he's going to do everything he can to take that belt from Patrick Saint. So this is going to be they didn't talk about a matchup last night, but you can see it on the horizon, and this is going to be something that's going to be worth checking into and keeping an eye on. So anybody out there, if you can go to a match where you see these two guys are in the same building, keep your eyes open.
Make sure you keep social media for that Tetsu social media, Instagram, Facebook, because most likely it's going to be posted there first. I'm probably within the days, I would assume. So keep an eye out there. Yeah. So let's talk about one more thing before we hit the road. All right. Sure. Was it Friday, August 8th? I know this might be a little bit too early to start talking about this, but Coliseum Pro Wrestling presents Clash at the Coliseum. All right. So this is going to be our next TV taping for WON Sports. Some of the talent has already been announced, so let's get that. Let's talk a little bit about that talent while we have about 5 or so minutes left. Okay.
Okay.
So of course they've been announcing talent all week, and as more talent gets announced, we'll be here. We'll post it on the website. We'll post it here as well, or excuse me, we'll mention it here on the show as well. So, and the matches will probably be announced weeks down the road, but right now it's just the talent being announced. We're still looking for sponsors. If you want to hit up sponsors, you can go to the Coliseum Pro Wrestling social media, Facebook, Instagram, and hit up if you want to sponsor the show. We're always looking for sponsors. I'm a sponsor. Pro Wrestling Wire is a sponsor. We got a bunch of sponsors. It'll help. It'll help a lot with the show. Otis, what's up?
There's just to let people know that there's different levels of sponsorship. So yes. You don't have to be rich. You can sponsor a match. You can sponsor a wrestler. You could sponsor the ring apron. You could sponsor. There's different levels. Yes. So you could go on CPW's website and find out what the different levels are, and you could pick something and be a part of a show.
Yeah. And of course, you will get entry into the show if you are a sponsor. So just hit us up. Hit up Coliseum Pro Wrestling, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and somebody will get back to you. So, of course, at the last show, if you don't remember, we crowned a new Coliseum Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion of this world, Sean Knight, the Prince of Greatness. He will be in action defending his championship. From there, the Don Dada, Patrick Sane. We've been talking about him all night. He'll be there in action as well.
Love Patrick.
Yeah, I'm excited to see his return. He's only been there once before. I think when Hunter Tarka was champion, he wrestled Hunter for the title at one point. So, is that correct? That's right. It's
I believe so.
History,
yes.
My history correct? Come on, you got to put me in place here, all right? If I'm not correct, right?
I got to put you in place.
Of course, we just talked about him, the Coliseum Pro Wrestling Strong Will Champion, the premier, Luis Leon. He'll be in action. I'm looking forward to that. But this next one I'm about to mention, former Strong Will champion, will be returning. Okay? The man that Luis Leon won the belt from, or should I say, cheated him out of, maybe. Okay. Nonstop Nutrius X. I'm really excited to see him back in action.
And
we
haven't seen him in a while, too.
No, it's been a few months since we've seen him. I believe that he got married or something like that. So
congratulations if that's what's up.
Yeah, and of course the specialist Giorgio Lawrence, of course, returning as always. He's a great young competitor, and tell me this one's not interesting. We're not only getting Sean Knight in action, we're also getting Jay Onyx in action, the other half of the Haven. So,
really?
Yeah, I'm excited to see that Jay Onyx in singles action coming in here at Coliseum Pro Wrestling. Don't forget that's is that Friday? It's Friday, August 2nd. I said the 8th a few minutes ago. I must have my head up my ass. Sorry. So I want to thank the sponsors, New Age Wrestling, Captain Whippa, Handy Snacks, and of course Pro Wrestling Wire, all sponsors of Coliseum Pro Wrestling and Clash of the Coliseum. If you have any way of getting tickets, go over, hit up the social media, check everything out on there. You're going to find all the information you need, and I want you all to come down.
And if I may, people, there's always some sort of action close enough by to go and check out virtually every weekend. I mean, I'm sitting here with my calendar book, and I see something from OWF and Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Planet Pro and there's just all next month there's on the 20th New Age Wrestling, and on the 27th there's something in Rhode Island of the NWWE. So there's always something right in the tri-state area, and if you're not aware of where there is something going on, Google it. Google independent wrestling, professional wrestling near me, and you'll see schools come up and different wrestling promotions that do stuff probably right in your backyard. And the average show is anywhere between $15 and $30, and that's a fun night out for virtually less money than it is for watching a movie.
Bring the family. It's half the price, if not less, than any WWE event.
Oh, so, please, way less than half the price, way less. Even for what do they call them? Nosebleed seats at one of those big events things. You could be paying anywhere from $60 to $75 and more for nosebleed seat. Here, every seat's a front row seat because you're in a venue holds a couple hundred people, and for that price, come on, please, no excuse.
All right, Otis, I want to say thank you again, as always, joining me. Folks, check us out again. I'm sure we'll be here later on in the week, all right? Go check out ProWrestlingWire.com, AIWF Network, and, of course, WON Sports. Hey, man, there's some more wrestling coming on to the WON Sports. Don't forget, there's a 5-hour wrestling block starting at 2 o'clock every Saturday. You'll get some of the greatest professional wrestling from across the country. And I got some breaking news before we get out of here. Coming soon, this fall, Sunday mornings are going to be another block of professional wrestling. We'll get more. Go check it out, ProWrestlingWire.com. Until then, we'll see you next time.